What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the meme that never dies. Snake Rain is on full buyout mode, and realistically, it's from that slow decline over time into finally impressively spiking if you go to the 1 month graph, and it might go all the way up to 80 here, but I don't think it'll get a good sales rate there. Now, why is it hype? Ogdoadic got new support that is pretty impressive, and people have been eyeing some things in Ancient Guardians, like you have Ogdo Abyss here, and you also have even some other ones going up like crazy, like Aaron, and then the Ultras are starting to actually change on quantities. If you were to get anything, I would kind of suggest the Ultras if you're truly interested in playing the deck, because a lot of the set isn't going to get opened most likely over these cards. Heck, this is at my local 5 and below. Konami's been selling them more Yu-Gi-Oh toys, and I think they were like, hey, we got these old packs, you want them? We'll give you a deal. And that deal is they're sitting on a shelf still over there. I took a picture and put it on Twitter when my wife was getting her hair done. I wandered into 5 below and I saw these and I'm like, ah! But seriously, look at this bump. This is $1 bump in the graph, and then it goes even lower in terms of sales, so people aren't eating this up or anything like that. It's a cheap box to open is pretty much why you would go for it, and I sound like a broken record with this, I know, but when you're going for a specific collector rare or even a range of them, they're only 1 out of every 3 boxes on average, meaning people are willing to let go of this with shipping, with fees, because you're looking at, what is that, 45 different boxes to see all of them on average, almost 4 cases, and yeah, Pankratops is on top here. The rest of them have fallen out over time because there's not the most demand. Even, I think there's new Usartic stuff around the corner somewhere, and yeah, Sulfacore, the waifu tax and all that still has gone down over time because the new cards weren't all that good when it got them, and Ogdoadic is kind of the most hopeful thing. It bubbled into Rogue multiple times. It's all almost there, and people seem to be going onto that hype for the new support. But yeah, it's not moving the field all that much right now. Battles of Legend pre-sales. Some people laughed at them. Other people said, hey, there's some pretty good deals. And definitely Gamer's Choice, what is in stock is up in price to a good degree versus sales. Like, I think Duality was towards 15. And when we look at Tier 0, some people are like, that's way too expensive. But we can all collectively agree to point and laugh at TCG player pre-sales because the system just isn't competitive, and we're looking at $50 Assault Synchron, $40 Dualities, just above where anybody would have anything realistically. The Sky Striker at 30, and yeah, getting rewarded with sales. That green stuff there means somebody sold something or sold it to themselves to take the fees to make it look like people would be buying to encourage others to do so. Again, TCG player does say that they've been cracking down on that, so kudos to them, but I'm sure it still probably happens. Now, the sealed for this does seem to be going more in demand, and Battles is one of the more successful lines of Yu-Gi-Oh sets. We haven't had a failed one so far, although Brothers is teetering there to a good degree with its chase cards falling out, and it doesn't have the name Battles because they wanted to do a pun. Konami, right? But when it comes to the set, I do think when looking through pre-sales, the top demanded cards, Duality and Assault Synchron, are kind of right because they are the new anticipated ones that are imported into the set and a little more serious than last battles. Now, there was a conversation in the comments section, actually, wondering what to compare this to. They went for Mavens, and I disagree with that. First off, we have 2 different core rarities in the set, and second, last battles had 10 different Starlight rares, so I do think it's somewhat comparable, but the pull rate is going to be up in here versus that battles, I think, for the quarter century rares. That's still complete speculation, but based off what we saw from the Yu-Gi-Tuber openings, we can kind of try to assume that we're likely to see more of those unless those boxes were loaded. I'm personally thinking about 2.5 per case would be the smart, greedy Konami move, because then some cases will have 2, some will seem super lucky at 3, maybe even 4, and you'll get those crazy ones, but it could be more similar to collector rares, and you could see 3 per case on average. We'll have to wait and see what people are pulling, but gamers did adjust, and now they're putting junk quarter century rare prices on some of these, where before they were trying to play it safe and put them all around the 100. So kudos to Gamer's Choice for looking at supply, demand, etc., expecting even when they don't have the numbers, and saying, yeah, we shouldn't be charging 100 on this and going down to 60. Wild Survivors, it's rewarding Konami's model for this. I'm pretty angry at it, but again, taking feedback from the comment section, somebody said they were super happy because that means 2 archetypes that are deck building super fun decks come extremely cheap, while one is expensive and takes the brunt of the blow. I still don't like that model personally, because every Ultra is going to be shorted to some degree, and you still see Dinosaur. That's a almost $100 playset on Xeno right now. Like, yeah, it's not the greatest model still, in my opinion, because you can take the chase card for any archetype and still slide it Ultra while making the other 7 expensive for the competitive one, which is Vanquished Souls here. And yeah, the Copium, I was on it too. I thought it would get cheaper, then it got results. I didn't think it was as good as it was, listening to people and the testers, and I guess the real testers were keeping quiet, and now they have results. And here you see Raisin going up. The Collector Rare, absolutely freaking wild for Raisin, and it's solid money within this set, and actually keeping this Collector Rare set afloat, where most of them flutter and dip under 60. This one is maintaining up there and not failing so far, mainly on the back of that archetype. Rescue Ace Hydrant is way up in price. Apparently Rescue Ace is doing very well in the OCG as a whole. Hydrant's the main one you want to be looking at, and not just the Collector Rare, but the Ultra Rare is way up, which is why I suggest in these sets to get Ultra Rares as well whenever you think you want them while they're cheap, because they're only 3.6 of each one on average per case. 10 different Ultra Rares, and you're only pulling 3 per box. It's really throttled on every single archetype, so even the junk ones can end up like this. But a lot of people that wanted this deck early did get them, so congrats if you got this while it was like $3 and under. Visa Starfrost is insanely up right now, probably deservedly so. It's a lot like Albaz, where it's going to keep going and going, but that new support had people going, losing their mind, YouTuber shock face thumbnail stuff going on. And yeah, the Starlight is way up now, the Secret Rare going up, everything is going up for Visas at this time. Watts got new support last night. Watts, good YouTube. And we see that Duelist Revolution Ultimate Rares and regular Ultras for Watt Chimera are up. I would also suggest Watt Giraffe. It's extremely hard to get near mint out of the Shining Darkness, which is why it's still way more than the Ultra Rare. But hey, the Ultra Rare, it's like $1 playset. Come on. If you want it, get it sooner than later if you're interested in the deck. Some mad lad actually grinded this, and it's Trevor Allen. He's a content creator in the Master Duel Cup, and I think got like top 500 with it or something crazy. But it can still maybe do a little something rogue here. We'll have to wait and see. Fateful Adventure getting left behind to a good degree here. The Ultra Rares are spiking. The Collector Rares are spiking. Whenever a piece of support gets left behind in the reprint trains, well, this ends up happening quite often. So be aware, especially the Ultra is going up. So you might want to get those collectors sooner than later if they're still reasonable, up towards $10 if you want access to it. And this has been mostly going down, but has gone up slightly. So I think the Collector Rare will follow suit soon. And if you want yours, use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Small World is up a couple bucks again, and that's mainly thanks to Dragon Link that is starting to trend this way. You know, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitter's favorite card. There's a whole Twitter dedicated to combos with this, but the Dragon Link piles seem to be on this, and yeah, it is pushing back up to 10 for the original, and even the reprint is up towards 8. But yeah, be aware of that. It's a good card, and I wouldn't be fast to get rid of it. I have no clue what happened here. I don't know why a collectible card would suddenly fall off the face of the earth like this. Look at the 3-month graph. It's up, 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 and people are suddenly getting rid of the Dark Magician from Battle of Chaos like crazy. Although the listings aren't the lowest in the world there, the sales sure are around there to actually move and get rid of them. And it looks like people are picking them up around this lower price and eating them because the lowest listed are back towards 95. But some people definitely wanted to get rid of and move these ASAP. So let me know if you think somebody's on to like, oh, they're going to reprint that art, they're going to do it special quarter century rare. I'm pretty sure it's OG arts in the 10s, so I do wonder why people are just crazily letting go of this ultra rare version from Battle of Chaos. It's not the hardest card to get. I think it was 1 out of every case and a half average, but yeah, I still think it's pretty cool, but it could look cooler in another rarity, and Konami could be onto that. And for Noble Narms, Durandal is way up in price, and people are actually buying it at this upped price. And I have a little lesson on max rarity hype with new support. Infernobles do look pretty good with their new support to a degree, and it's always a fan favorite at this point. Noble Knights always have been as an archetype. They even got that box set because of it. Yeah, platinum rares. But no, seriously, when it comes to spikes like this, do consider that there is timing to let it go versus saying, spending less than a quarter on a playset of the rare if you want it, or even less than $1 on supers, which still look pretty nice compared to the ultra rares here. Traptrix Sarah as a whole, sorry for my phone notification if it makes you look at your own phone. I forgot I had it on. Traptrix Sarah here is just down over time versus that hype of the structure deck. And the structure deck did have copies, but that didn't stop the hype train on max rarity. But yeah, you can see here the ultimate spike and just slowly draining to where people are letting these go at $13 now as the hype escapes the deck. So do consider when you go for max rarity pieces like these, even if you want to feel good for the WCQ or future formats, or you just want your deck to look as nice as possible, that maybe there's a time to let it go and get it back later if you actually want to bother moving your cards. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the conversations. We sure to go around a lot of collector rare sets and the craziness in there, despite those sets as a whole not doing that well. And part of it is those terrible pull rates, which you think would spike the singles even more insane, but it's actually the fact that that sealed is still there so cheap that helps this weird equilibrium in the model that's just bad for players, bad for stores, but good long-term for people who want to pick up decks. It's just such a weird thing and a weird model that Konami's been on with the collector rare sets. But let me know what you think of that and Battles of Legend, which is, I would say, pretty good, and we've had a lot more spoilers on quarter century rares if you look around, not trying to get banned by Konami.